Alright, hey guys, Savjz here. Thanks to Wizards the Coast for sponsoring the series. This is episode 2, and in this one I'm going to be talking about keywords in Magic. There's a lot of different abilities and effects and that are on cards that are short for some kind of mechanic or effect, and I wanted to go through some of the ones that you might encounter the most right now. Some of the basic ones, some of the ones that are maybe in the current like a standard format, and yeah, so let's get right to it. So I thought about this card being like good example to show here, because it randomly gets abilities, and the first one on this is flying. So if a creature card has the ability to fly, it can only be blocked by other creatures with flying or creatures with reach. So usually those type of flying creatures tend to be a little bit like smaller on the stat line, so you pay more mana for a smaller creature because it's a very powerful ability. If you're playing, for example, like white and blue color combinations, you can ignore your opponent's non-flying or non-reach creatures. Next ability is First Strike. With First Strike during combat, the creature with First Strike deals its damage first. So if a 3/3 creature bumps into another 3/3 creature, the creature with the First Strike will deal its damage first. And in this instance, with these stat lines, the other 3/3 would just simply be destroyed at that point and not do any damage at all. There's also this card does not have it, but there's also an effect called Double Strike. With Double Strike, creature deals both First Strike damage and normal damage. So if this creature was fighting a 3/4 stat line creature, for example, it would first deal the 3 damage. It would the enemy unit would go down to the 3/1, and then they would both destroy each other. So a 3-attack Double Strike creature would be effectively dishing out 6 damage. Death Touch means that any amount of damage from the unit that creature that has Death Touch will be lethal damage. So if you have a 1/1 Death Touch snake fighting a 100/100 any kind of beast, they will still both be destroyed if they deal damage to each other. So low amount of power will will not matter when doing creature combat. Hex Proof means creature cannot be targeted by spells or abilities. Abilities oftentimes are from like other creatures, but obviously can be also from anything, any like enchantments or so. Hexproof keeps your creature safe. It's oftentimes with this card that I'm showing right here, with the Mega Godzilla, that's often the best one to get in the beginning, because it keeps your Mega Godzilla safe. Not quite safe though from everything, because even creatures with Hexproof are not immune to effects such as anything that says destroy all creatures. They will still take damage from spells, so the hexproof is not the same as spell immunity or anything like that. It's just that it simply cannot be the target of the spell. Lifelink. Lifelink means that any amount of damage that this creature deals, you will gain as life. So if you have 20 life and your lifelink creature deals 3 damage, you will go up to 23. So yeah, that can be nice if in some instance if you have some lifelink synergies, or if your opponent is playing an aggressive strategy. Menace. Menace means that when attacking, the creature with Menace can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures. So one unit cannot block a creature with Menace alone. So that would be unblocked if your opponent only has 1 creature to block. Reach. Reach means that it can block creatures with flying, but it's only applicable if in that one instance your opponent is attacking with a flying creature. So reach doesn't come up all that often. Green cards in particular often tend to have reach effects to be combating the flyers, because green does not, generally speaking, green doesn't have their own flyers. Trample means that excess damage dealt to creatures will go through to deduct from your opponent's life total. So, for example, if we attack with a 3/3 Mega Godzilla that has the effect Trample, and it is blocked by a 1/1 creature, 2 damage. After the 1/1 creature would die, and in addition, the 2 extra damage that was overkill in a way will deal damage to your opponent. Vigilance means that when attacking, your creature does not get tapped. So usually the most common instance for this, where it matters, is that the creatures that are tapped. When you attack with a creature gets tapped, and when your creature is tapped, it will be unable to block your opponent's incoming attacks. But if you have Vigilance, your creature will stay untapped while attacking, and you will also be able to potentially block or activate any abilities that require tapping. +1/+1, I mean, that's not really that's not really a keyword, just making your creature stronger. The interesting thing about maybe +1/+1 counters is that if the creature gets temporarily removed from the game, so-called exiled. Exile is another word that refers to removing something from the game. And so if this is exiled while it has +1/+1 counters and returns to the game, those +1/+1 counters will no longer be there. There's so many keywords. I'm not going to talk about all of them. It's easy to find out some long list. So I'm gonna just focus on the basic ones. Haste is one that was not on the Mega Godzilla. Haste means that you will be able to attack or activate abilities on the creature the same turn as you have played it. In spoken language, the I don't know if this is an official term, but people call it summoning sickness, which is the effect that prevents you from using abilities or attacking on the first turn. In spoken language, also a very common one that you might come up to with, here is ramping. Ramping means playing additional land cards by using cards that allow you to do so, or otherwise gaining access to extra mana. In the newer sets, there's a few. Maybe I'll go over just the most recent one, because that's if you play with the newest cards, you might come with it. It's a mutate. With mutate cards, you can combine the card. There it says it. If you cast a spell for its mutate cost, you pay an alternate mana cost. You can put it over or under a non-human creature, and the 2 creatures become one, and they keep both of the abilities of the creatures. Escape is another one that is from one of the newer sets. For example, Elspeth Sun's Nemesis has an escape ability. Escape ability means that you can play the card. Instead of playing it from your hand, you can play the card from the graveyard for an alternate mana cost. You need to pay an alternate mana cost. In this instance, it would be 6 mana, and you would also have to exile 4 other cards from your graveyard to play Elspeth Sun's Nemesis from your graveyard. And Companion is maybe one more. Let's see, Companion is the last mechanic. And also, I wanted to remind everyone, you don't need to remember. There will be no tests about this. Every time that you don't remember a keyword, you can just hover over the card. That's the nice thing about Magic Arena in particular. It's very easy to just hover over the card to just what did Vigilance do? Let's check. And there you see the tooltip. Doesn't cost the creature to tap. Deal excess damage. So you can always check those. Companion mechanic is that if you meet a certain special condition with your deck building, you will have the creature will start. It is always a creature. So creature will start in exile, and you will be able to get the creature for 3 mana from the exile to your hand to be able to play it. So you can meet the special deck building condition of Yorion, for example, for adding extra 20 cards to your deck, and then you will have access to getting Yorion to your hand for 3 mana, and then of course to play it later on. The list of all the keywords in Magic, it's a lot, and I don't even know if I would know all of this, but these are some of the basic ones. These are the ones that I kind of selected to be talking about on this video. And you can always check. Always check what did it do if you don't remember. There will be no tests. Thank you for watching this video about the keywords. And in the next episode of this the Magic Arena or Magic Basics, I will be talking about some of the basic turn structure and the flow of the game. We are going to hop into an actual match.